Mic check. Money check. Mindset check. This is Mic'd Up Money Reloaded, where entrepreneurs talk money, strategy, systems, and execution. No fake hustle, no empty flexing, just real business talk that gets you right. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded, talk that strategy, show it. Systems moving, profit growing, real entrepreneurs already know it. No fake value, better own it. Price meets pain when the bridge is built. Execution turns the vision golden. If the plan is weak, the pressure gets felt. Mic check. Hey. Money check. Mindset check. This ain't just motivation. This is business correction. This ain't just conversation. This is money direction. You want profit, build the model. You want growth, fix the flow. You want increase, check the numbers. What you don't know can stop the show. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded, talk that strategy, show it. Systems moving, profit growing, real entrepreneurs already know it. Hey. No fake hustle, no empty flexing, no more guessing, no more stressing. Money, strategy, systems, execution. Reload the vision, rebuild the plan. Price the value, know where you stand. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Bumping 96.3 FM. iHeartRadio, YouTube. Where entrepreneurs talk money, strategy, systems, and execution. Stop just listening. Start applying. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Disclaimer. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded provides general educational and informational content. This episode is not personalized accounting, tax, legal, financial, medical, psychological, or mental health advice, and it does not guarantee business results. Pricing decisions should be evaluated with qualified professionals who understand your costs, contracts, market, risks, and circumstances. The phrase imposter syndrome is used here in its common business and cultural sense. Imposter phenomenon is not by itself a formal mental health diagnosis. This episode does not diagnose or treat anxiety, depression, trauma, or any other condition. Persistent distress, changes in sleep or mood, difficulty functioning, or concerns extending beyond the business should be evaluated by an appropriately licensed mental health or medical professional. Counseling, psychotherapy, medical evaluation, and medication may be appropriate for some people based on individualized professional assessment. Business consulting, coaching, training, encouragement, and prayer may be supportive, but they are not substitutes for appropriate clinical care. Finally, this episode does not encourage arbitrary price increases, inflated claims, or premium pricing without premium value. A defensible price must connect to sound economics, honest capability, reliable execution, demonstrated value, and a market willing to support it. Nothing here blames an owner for theft, fraud, coercion, abuse, or another person's breach of trust. Responsibility remains with the person who commits the wrongdoing. Suspected misconduct may require qualified legal, human resources, forensic accounting, law enforcement, safety, or mental health assistance. Introduction. Welcome to Mic'd Up Money Reloaded, where serious business owners talk money, strategy, systems, execution, and the decisions that determine whether a company merely looks successful or becomes financially and operationally strong. I'm Efrem Keith Simmons, business strategist, senior business consultant, and senior training and development professional. For more than 36 years, I have worked with businesses and organizations facing profitability challenges, weak systems, leadership problems, financial instability, and execution that failed to catch up with the vision. Today's episode is for consultants, contractors, trainers, creatives, personal care professionals, specialists, and established owner-operators who can perform the work but become uncertain when it is time to state, explain, or defend the price. Our subject is Imposter Syndrome is weakening your pricing. But this is not going to be another motivational speech telling you to double your price because somebody on social media told you that premium clients respect expensive people. We are going deeper. We are going to examine whether your price has an architecture, whether your business can deliver the promise, whether the market supports the number, and whether your internal game can withstand a customer's legitimate questions. Here is the central idea. Strong pricing confidence should not come from hype. It should come from alignment between economics, competence, customer value, operational capacity, evidence, market reality, and the owner's internal readiness. Segment 1. The customer is evaluating the offer, not your existence. There is an internal conversation taking place before the owner ever states the price. You may be thinking, am I really qualified? What if they challenge me? What if they ask for proof? What if they know somebody cheaper? What if my reputation is not as strong as I think it is? Who am I to charge this amount? That private self-talk may remain hidden until the customer asks a reasonable question. Why does this cost so much? What makes your service different? What exactly am I receiving? What results have you produced before? The customer may simply be exercising good judgment. They are spending real money, and they have a legitimate interest in understanding the offer. But when your self-concept is fragile, a request for business justification can feel like a demand that you justify your existence. The customer asked you to justify the offer, not justify your existence. The customer says, explain the value. You hear, prove you belong here. The customer says, I need to think about it. You hear, you are not worth it. The customer asks about your experience. You hear, you have been exposed. That distortion can cause you to discount before the customer objects, add unpaid work, over-explain, become defensive, promise outcomes you cannot control, or withdraw from the sales conversation. You stop discussing the offer and start defending your identity. Your personal worth is not being negotiated. Your offer is being evaluated at a particular price for a particular customer under particular conditions. A customer's no is not a diagnosis of your value as a human being. It may be a decision about fit, timing, cash flow, trust, scope, or expected return. This is why we must separate adaptive doubt from destructive doubt. Adaptive doubt asks whether the offer is ready, the evidence is sufficient, and the promise is supportable. Destructive doubt persists even when the evidence is strong and repeatedly causes you to abandon sound business decisions. Do not silence every doubt. Interrogate it. Ask, is this discomfort identifying a real gap or repeating an old internal story? Segment 2. Your price has an architecture. Before deciding whether your price is too high or too low, you must understand how the price was constructed. A sustainable price has an architecture. The first layer is foundational cost. This includes the direct labor, materials, subcontractors, equipment usage, project-specific technology, payment processing costs, travel, and other resources required to fulfill the promise. These costs answer a basic question. What must the business spend to deliver this product or service properly? The second layer is overhead recovery. The customer is not separately reimbursing every light bill or software subscription, but your total pricing must recover a reasonable share of the infrastructure that makes reliable delivery possible. That includes administration, rent, utilities, insurance, accounting, marketing, licenses, technology, training, management time, equipment replacement, and business development. The third layer is owner labor. This is frequently confused with profit. When the owner performs technical, administrative, or managerial work, the pricing model should recognize a reasonable cost for replacing that labor. If the company paid someone else to perform the same work, what would it cost? Money paid to the owner for working in the business is not automatically profit from owning the business. The fourth layer is risk and contingency. Every engagement contains uncertainty, collection risk, warranty obligations, rework, delays, mistakes, changing conditions, and capacity that may be unavailable for other opportunities. The fifth layer is the profit motive. Profit is not the amount you hope survives after everybody has finished making changes. Profit must be deliberately designed into the price. It compensates ownership for capital, responsibility, risk, innovation, opportunity cost, and the obligation to keep the business stable enough to serve customers tomorrow. Most pricing mistakes are not made in the cost, they are made in the profit motive. Then comes the external value case. Your internal architecture explains what the business must charge. Your external value explanation helps the customer understand why the result may be worth paying for. Costs determine whether you can afford to sell. Value influences whether the customer is willing to buy. A business that covers materials, labor, and overhead but produces no deliberate profit has not built a strong enterprise. It may have purchased the owner a demanding job. Segment 3. Most pricing mistakes occur at the profit motive. Many owners can explain the cost of materials. They can explain employee hours. They may even understand that rent, insurance, and software must be recovered. But when it is time to add profit, the internal conflict begins. Foundational costs feel objective. Overhead feels explainable. Profit feels personal. The owner begins asking, do I deserve to make that much? Will they think I am greedy? What if my competitor charges less? Should I remove some profit to close the sale? That is where imposter thinking often attacks the architecture. It does not always eliminate every cost. It attacks the layer that rewards ownership. The owner may recover the work but surrender the reason the business is worth operating. Consider a simple example. A service sells for $100 and carries $60 of variable costs, leaving $40 to contribute toward overhead and profit. The owner offers a 20% discount and collects $80. The cost remains $60. The contribution falls from $40 to $20. The price fell 20%, but the contribution fell 50%. This is why a casual discount can require twice as many sales just to recover the same contribution. The owner says, I will make it up in volume. But volume does not repair weak economics. It can give the company more opportunities to work hard for insufficient return. Profit also funds reserves, stronger staffing, technology, quality control, training, innovation, warranty support, and survival during slow periods. A healthy profit is not automatically greed. Exploitation, deception, and unreasonable claims are wrong. But a company that cannot earn a reasonable return may eventually become unable to support its customers. Do not resent customers for accepting the price you were afraid to defend. If the price is sound, explain it. If the customer cannot afford it, reduce the scope, adjust the delivery, use phases, or decline the engagement. A discount should change something. Otherwise, you are teaching the customer that your original number was never real. A pricing policy protects the business when the owner becomes emotionally negotiable. Establish a price floor, a target price, premium options, minimum margins, deposit requirements, discount authority, and rules for change orders. Your feeling should not be the company's pricing system. Segment 4. Train the gap. Do not just fight the feeling. Training and development can reduce imposter friction when it targets the correct gap. The goal is not merely to make the owner feel better. It is observable capability, reliable execution, and evidence that can survive customer scrutiny. Begin with pricing architecture and financial literacy training. Learn foundational costs, owner labor, overhead recovery, risk, required profit, margin, markup, and the difference between a price floor, target price, and premium price. Sometimes you do not lack confidence, you lack a calculation you trust. Train value articulation. Convert activities into outcomes. Instead of saying, I provide 6 consulting sessions, explain that you will identify where profitability is being lost, establish corrective priorities, assign accountability, and build an implementation plan. You may not fear the price itself. You may fear that you cannot explain why it makes sense. Practice pricing presentations and objection handling through role play. State the price without apologizing. Diagnose whether the concern is price, value, trust, timing, cash flow, scope, or fit. Reduce scope rather than surrendering margin. The first time you confidently state the price should not be in front of a customer. Technical mastery must continue through instruction, guided practice, assessment, feedback, and correction. Develop feedback literacy and evidence discipline. Stop treating every criticism as identity and every success as luck. Build testimonials, case studies, referrals, repeat business records, and measurable outcomes. Confidence without competence is dangerous. Competence without confidence is expensive. Train assertive communication, boundary setting, conflict management, emotional intelligence, follow-up, delegation, contractor management, and quality control. These skills help protect scope, confront performance problems, assign responsibility, and stop using discounts or unpaid labor to purchase approval. Use a simple diagnostic. If you do not know how, seek education. If you cannot perform consistently, use deliberate practice and supervision. If you can deliver but cannot sell it, train value communication. If the company cannot deliver reliably, strengthen staffing, systems, and management. A legitimate mentor may help, provided that person is truly mentoring rather than merely selling access or affirmation. A real mentor has relevant experience, asks difficult questions, corrects faulty thinking, shares practical judgment, expects accountability, and helps you avoid preventable mistakes. Payment does not disqualify a mentor, but it does not make someone one. Verify experience, references, methods, boundaries, and whether former mentees became more capable and independent. A real mentor develops your judgment. A paid hustler monetizes your uncertainty. A real mentor develops your judgment. A paid hustler monetizes your uncertainty. If the evidence says you are capable but you still feel fraudulent, reflective work, coaching, qualified counseling, or medical evaluation may be appropriate. Business training and mentoring can reduce knowledge, performance, communication, leadership, and systems gaps. They cannot diagnose or treat persistent anxiety, depression, trauma, or another mental health condition. This is also the work I provide through my training and development services. I work with individuals, small groups, and corporate teams on pricing and value communication, leadership, emotional intelligence, conflict management, accountability, supervisory skills, delegation, customer experience systems, and execution. Programs may be individual development, workshops, team training, or customized corporate sessions. For individual, small group, or corporate training and development with Efrem Keith Simmons, visit eksbc.net. The purpose is not to manufacture confidence. It is to develop skills, judgment, systems, and accountability that allow confidence to rest on something real. Train until the skill, evidence, systems, and experience demonstrate that you are qualified. Then stop allowing an outdated self-concept to price the person you were. Your price is not your worth. Charge what the offer economically requires and what demonstrated value can support. Segment 5. Is it imposter syndrome? Or is the business under-resourced and exposed? Sometimes the owner is not merely feeling like an imposter, the business is creating avoidable failures that reinforce the feeling. Follow-up is late, invoices are delayed, commitments are forgotten, and customers must ask repeatedly for information. Before labeling the problem imposter syndrome, ask whether your confidence is being weakened by an operational failure you keep allowing. Follow-up should not depend on memory, mood, or available energy. It needs assigned ownership, response standards, calendar or CRM triggers, completion evidence, escalation rules, and regular review. A useful scorecard measures margin, retention, conversion, on-time delivery, collections, rework, complaints, and customer satisfaction, not only sales, followers, views, and hours worked. Some failures are calculated errors because the owner already knows the risk. You know administrative support is needed but refuse to hire it. You know specialized work requires a contractor but keep doing it badly. You know the process depends on memory, but refuse to install a system. You keep selling work the organization cannot reliably support. You cannot knowingly under-resource the business and then use predictable failure as evidence that you are unqualified. There is another exposure. An owner who is emotionally underdeveloped, conflict avoidant, approval seeking, or lacking self-awareness may become easier for other people to manipulate. Employees, relatives, spouses, partners, and vendors may learn that the owner will not question, verify, confront, document, discipline, terminate, or enforce an agreement. That does not excuse theft, fraud, time abuse, coercion, disloyalty, or any violation of trust. Responsibility remains with the person who commits the wrongdoing. But unmanaged emotional vulnerability can become someone else's business opportunity when they learn that the owner will not verify, confront, document, or enforce. An owner needs enough emotional intelligence to recognize that they are not only the worker in the business, they are also the investor. Their money, credit, lifestyle, reputation, retirement, family security, and future options may be on the line. Every ignored theft, fake hour, personal expense, unauthorized discount, vendor overcharge, or act against the business consumes the owner's investment. Unmanaged emotional vulnerability can become someone else's business opportunity when they learn that you will not verify, confront, document, or enforce. Standing up for the business does not require rage, intimidation, or humiliation. It requires clear authority, written expectations, financial controls, separation of duties, independent verification, documented approvals, inventory and time controls, vendor review, conflict skills, and consequences that are consistently enforced. The owner may need a bookkeeper, controller, human resources advisor, attorney, forensic accountant, investigator, security professional, counselor, or other qualified support. The correct intervention depends on whether the issue is skill, capacity, misconduct, governance, safety, or mental health. Do not ask personal courage to replace controls, and do not ask controls to replace qualified professional help. The owner does not have to do everything. The owner must make sure the right work is assigned, verified, and completed. A premium price requires a premium experience, and a sustainable business requires the owner to protect the enterprise from both operational failure and foreseeable exploitation. Your inability to stand up for yourself does not make another person's misconduct acceptable, but developing self-awareness, boundaries, conflict competence, oversight, and governance can make the business much harder to exploit. Segment 6. A higher price is a claim the market will test. Now we must correct the opposite mistake. Underpricing can weaken a business, but overpricing an ordinary or poorly supported offer can damage trust, conversion, retention, and reputation. A high price does not prove high quality. It makes a claim about quality and value that the market will test. A high price does not prove high quality. It makes a claim the market will test. In the stock market, investors do not evaluate a stock only by its current price. They examine earnings, expected growth, cash flow, risk, assets, debt, competition, and future prospects. In the same way, a business owner should ask, what is this offer's price based on? Is it based on delivery cost, overhead recovery, required profit, demand, customer outcomes, differentiation, scarcity, convenience, expertise, risk reduction, or demonstrated willingness to pay? Or is it based mainly on the owner's desire to earn more and a guru's instruction to raise the number? Suppose a barber charged $40 last week and charges $100 this week for substantially the same haircut in the same environment through the same process with no meaningful improvement in expertise, convenience, service, personalization, products, or customer experience. The increase may feel arbitrary because the price has outrun the visible value. A $100 haircut can be reasonable in the right market. It may involve specialized expertise, private appointments, mobile service, premium grooming, guaranteed scheduling, a luxury environment, limited availability, or an experience designed for a different customer segment. The issue is not whether a haircut can cost $100. The issue is whether this offer for this customer supports that price. You cannot become premium by changing the number alone. The offer, evidence, experience, execution, and customer segment must change with it. You cannot become premium by changing the number alone. Sometimes the owner feels uneasy after an unsupported increase. That discomfort is not necessarily irrational imposter syndrome. It may be accurate professional judgment. Internally, you know the systems remain weak, the offer has not changed, and the evidence is limited. Every objection feels dangerous because there is no architecture beneath the increase. Do not inflate a weak offer with confidence. Do not violate market reality and expect a motivational speech to rescue the strategy. A premium price needs premium evidence, premium execution, a premium difference, or a premium market. Do not inflate a weak offer with confidence, and do not weaken a strong offer with insecurity. Segment 7. Diagnose the objection before touching the price. Many owners hear every hesitation as the customer saying the price is too high. That is often incorrect. A price objection means the customer does not believe the amount is justified. A value objection means the customer does not understand what they receive. A cash flow objection means the customer cannot pay in that form or at that time. A trust objection means they are not convinced you can deliver. A fit objection means the offer does not match the problem. An authority objection means the person cannot approve the purchase. A timing objection means the need is not urgent enough today. Before discounting, ask, is the concern the total investment, the timing, the scope, or whether the expected result justifies the cost? That question helps you diagnose rather than panic. When you state the price, connect it to a defined scope. Say, based on the work we discussed, the investment is $2,500. That includes the assessment implementation plan, 2 strategy sessions, and 30 days of follow-up support. Then stop talking. Silence is not an emergency. When the customer says the price is higher than expected, do not negotiate against yourself. Ask what they expected, what they are comparing, and which outcome matters most. If the issue is budget, reduce scope or phase the work. If the issue is trust, strengthen proof. If the issue is value, clarify the business consequence and the expected improvement. If the fit is wrong, release the customer. Also define customer responsibilities. Some outcomes depend on the customer providing information, making decisions, completing assigned work, giving access, implementing recommendations, and paying on schedule. Do not promise an outcome you cannot control alone and then treat the customer's non-performance as proof that you failed. Your proposal should state what you will deliver, what the customer must provide, what assumptions support the expected outcome, what is excluded, and what cannot be guaranteed. Clarity protects the customer, the company, and the owner's internal stability. The goal is not to win every sale. The goal is to build a price and a promise that can survive reasonable scrutiny. Segment 8. When business intervention is not enough. Not every pricing struggle is a mental health condition, but not every pricing struggle can be solved by a pricing worksheet, another course, a consultant, or a better script. Sometimes the internal friction is connected to long-standing criticism, unresolved grief, trauma, chronic shame, persistent anxiety, depression, fear of rejection, family experiences, relationship experiences, or emotional patterns that appear across several areas of life. In those circumstances, business intervention may correct the mechanics without reaching the source. A consultant can help structure the price. A trainer can strengthen a skill. A coach can support accountability. A licensed mental health professional can evaluate concerns within their professional scope. A qualified medical professional can determine whether medical evaluation or medication should be considered. This episode does not diagnose anyone. It does not tell you that discomfort means you have a disorder. It does not suggest medication based on a social media checklist. Treatment decisions are individualized and belong between a person and qualified professionals. The business owner should recognize boundaries. If distress is persistent, extends beyond pricing, interferes with sleep, relationships, concentration, functioning, or emotional stability, qualified help may be appropriate. Do not ask a pricing strategy to heal an injury it did not create. Learn what you need to learn. Correct the business system, strengthen the evidence, hire the help, improve the process. And when the internal struggle extends beyond the reasonable scope of business intervention, have enough courage to seek appropriate professional care. Do not ask a pricing strategy to heal an injury it did not create. Seeking qualified help is not evidence that you are weak or unfit to own a business. It may be evidence that you are willing to address the correct problem with the correct intervention. Segment 9, the pricing congruence test. The complete issue is not simply confidence. It is pricing congruence. The price, the promise, the evidence, the business, the owner, and the market must agree closely enough to support sustained success. Test 1 is economic integrity. Does the price cover direct costs, owner labor, overhead recovery, risk, reserves, and deliberate profit? Test 2 is market integrity. Is this price credible for the customer segment, alternatives, location, timing, demand, and purchasing capacity? Are you pricing above the market, or are you deliberately serving a different market? Test 3 is value integrity. Can the customer understand the money earned or protected, time saved, risk reduced, errors prevented, convenience created, stress lowered, or capacity improved? Test 4 is competence integrity. Can you honestly and reliably deliver what you are promising? Has learning become applied ability and documented results? Test 5 is operational integrity. Can your staffing, contractor systems, follow-up, quality control, billing, and project management produce a consistent customer experience? Test 6 is internal integrity. Can you explain and defend the offer without confusing a customer's questions with the judgment of your personal worth? Test 7 is price to value integrity. Has the price increased faster than the value, evidence, customer experience, and market adaptation? When these elements are aligned, confidence becomes more than positive self-talk. It becomes informed conviction. You know what the work costs. You know the profit required. You know the value you create. You know the customer you serve. You know the evidence. You know the limits. You know the system supporting delivery. That does not guarantee every customer will say yes. It means a no will not automatically dismantle you, and a yes will not force the business into an engagement it cannot profitably or responsibly deliver. Strategic hustling moment. Here is today's strategic hustling moment. Do not inflate a weak offer with confidence, and do not weaken a strong offer with insecurity. Build enough economic, market, operational, evidentiary, and internal integrity that the price and the promise can stand together. The mathematics must support it. The business must deliver it. The owner must be prepared to explain it. The customer must be able to perceive the value, and the market must validate it over time. The mathematics must support it. The business must deliver it. The owner must explain it. The market must validate it. Strategic hustling is not randomly raising the price. It is improving the architecture, adapting the offer, strengthening execution, selecting the right customer, and making a deliberate profit without apologizing for honest value. Toolkit and playbook moment. This episode connects to several mic'd up money reloaded resources. The pain is the bridge. Playbook helps you connect the customer's pain, business consequence, desired outcome, demonstration of value, objections, and price. It is designed to help you explain why the investment makes sense without manipulating the customer. The Greasing the Grind language of sales toolkit strengthens discovery questions, value language, objection responses, scope clarification, and pricing conversations. The companion pricing congruence toolkit for this episode includes a pricing architecture builder for foundational costs, owner labor, overhead recovery, risk, and profit. A pricing congruence scorecard for economic, market, value, competence, operational, internal, and price to value integrity. A price increase protocol that requires documented improvements, evidence, market testing, and customer experience adaptation, and an imposter friction training and development plan that identifies the skill gap, training method, practice standard, evidence of competence, and deadline. These tools do not guarantee sales or profitability and do not replace qualified accounting, legal, financial, medical, mental health, human resources, or investigative professionals. Visit mic'dupmoneyreloaded.com for episodes, toolkits, and playbooks. For individual, small group, or corporate training and development, visit eksbc.net. Closing. Let us close with this. The answer to imposter feelings is not always a higher price. The answer is a defensible price. The answer to imposter feelings is not always a higher price. The answer is a defensible price. Know the foundational costs, recover the infrastructure, compensate the labor, account for risk, build deliberate profit, explain customer value, improve your competence, document the evidence, install the staffing and systems required to deliver, test the number against the right market, diagnose objections before discounting, and recognize when the internal struggle may require qualified help beyond the business. Do not price the person you used to be when the evidence shows your competence has grown, but do not charge for the professional you hope to become when the offer and delivery have not caught up. A high price does not create quality. A low price does not create fairness. A defensible price connects economics, value, evidence, execution, and market reality. I'm Efrem Keith Simmons, and this is Mic'd Up Money Reloaded, where serious business owners talk money, strategy, systems, execution, and the decisions required to build stronger businesses. Share this episode with an owner apologizing for a defensible price or hiding a weak offer behind confidence. Like, follow, and subscribe. For episodes, tools, and playbooks, visit mic'dupmoneyreloaded.com. For individual, small group, or corporate training and development, visit eksbc.net. And remember, the customer is not asking you to prove your existence. The customer is asking whether the offer, the experience, and the result justify the investment. Build a price that can answer the question.
Mic'd Up Money Reloaded, talk that strategy, show it. Systems moving, profit grow, and real entrepreneurs already know it. No fake hustle, no empty flexing, no more guessing, no more stressing. Money, strategy, systems, execution. Reload the vision, rebuild the plan, price the value, know where you stand. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Bumping 96.3 FM, iHeartRadio, YouTube, where entrepreneurs talk money, strategy, systems, and execution. Stop just listening, start applying. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Let's get it.